Hey everyone, today we are going to take a look at the 3 top mail apps for iOS and some of their differentiating features. Welcome everyone, this is Andrew for iDownloadBlog. The first email client that we are going to look at is Spark. Now what makes Spark a little bit different is that they have an algorithm that'll intelligently decide between what is important, like an email from a friend, versus something like a newsletter. You can actually get a notification on your lock screen when someone you know sends you a notification. You can also turn on and off the smart inbox, which will break everything up into stuff like newsletters, pinned ones, or ones that are important. You can interact with your emails using the popularized swipe method, just like all the other ones on our list, and those can be customized in settings. One thing that email clients have started to do that I very much like is the combining of all the attachments to one location, and that is something that Spark does as well. Unfortunately, when it comes to creating a message, Spark is fairly unremarkable. There's not really a lot here that's kind of different than any place else that you would see in any other mail app. I do like that when you try to hit the X, it gives the option to minimize that message, similar to Apple's native mail application. Obviously, you can add attachments or photos from your photo drive or attachments from a number of different services. Now, the standout feature for me is the read receipts. So if I craft this email here and I send it, when that email is opened on the other end, I will get a notification here on my lock screen or my home screen that lets me know that that email was read. Otherwise, there's just a lot of other customizations you can do. It's not the most customizations we've seen, but it's also not bare bones. There is a lot of stuff you can do in this application. If you're interested, the link is in the description below and you can find it for free on the App Store. Next up, the app that we've seen kinged most often, the best mail app on iPhone, Outlook. Now, Outlook is a very clean, modern mail client that works with many different mail providers. Navigation is very simple. Basically, you have a tab on the bottom that shows the mail. Also, a full calendar application built into here. It has all of your file management, including the different cloud solutions on top, as well as all of your attachments below that. On the bottom, we still have people, which is going to be a full contact list. And then we have settings on the far right. There are not nearly as many settings as Spark or Airmail, which is coming up next, but there's still quite a bit in here to customize this to suit your needs. Unfortunately, I think there's a little bit too much going on in this application. I don't need that full contact list, and I don't need that calendar built into my mail app. However, I did like this focus versus other menu for sorting the mail. Focus is going to be something that's going to be important to you, and it can kind of detect those, and for me, it's actually worked very well. Others are going to be stuff like newsletters, like we saw in the Spark application. While Outlook does support gestures like swipes, unfortunately it only does one in either direction, whereas Airmail and Spark offer both long and short in both directions. You can find this for free on the App Store. Last up on our list is Airmail. Airmail is also the most recently released, and it's also the most expensive at $4.99. And while all of these email clients are actually really good, this is probably my favorite. It does have an Apple Watch application, just like the rest do. Unfortunately, both Airmail and Spark are iPhone only, which means they do not have an iPad application. Fortunately, it makes up for it in other ways, such as the action list. This is invoked by a swipe to the left, and it has a ton of different actions that you can do with your email, including setting it up to work with many different services like deliveries to track a package. Like the rest, it supports multiple email accounts, but I really like how you can have it color-coded, so on your home screen you can see which email account it is that you're coming from. It also supports a documents kind of organization, which will show you all the different attachments that you have for your emails, the same as Spark and Outlook do. The thing that really sets Airmail apart, aside from its Mac counterpart, is there is a ridiculous amount of customization. It'll also sync all these preferences over iCloud so that your Mac is always going to be the same as your email client on your phone. I was also impressed on how snappy the application was, not just moving around the application itself, but in fetching emails. This was pretty much the fastest at fetching and showing me that I had a new email amongst all the different mail applications that I had tested. There are only really two things missing for me from Airmail. One is going to be that iPad application, so I have the same app across all my devices, and the second would be those smart notifications like Spark, where it lets you know not only when someone sends you an email that is going to be important, but when someone has read your email. Other than that though, there are a lot of really tiny UI touches that I think are really nicely done inside of Airmail. I love the little bit of a bounce that you see when you tap on any of these buttons when you create an email, or this nice little UI that you have when you're choosing the font and the style of the text in your email. In kind of a summary, I think Airmail is going to be the application for those who want a lot of customization and a lot of options. I think Outlook is going to be the great email client for everyone who wants everything inside of one application, whether it's your email, your calendar, or your contacts. And I think Spark is just going to be the great email client for the casual user who wants those notifications and just a simple client that'll filter their emails for them. Now we've gone ahead and added all these links to the description below if you're interested. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Otherwise, this has been Andrew for iDownload Blog.